What is up, guys? Wraec here with a new video, and today with my final test results on Sonja. Sonja, the very hyped hero. Today we'll find out whether you want to summon her, whether she's overhyped, and whether maybe both even is the case. So starting off with the first things I tested, we started off Endurance Trial, and I have to say, for me personally, when I had her on my account, that didn't really play a role. And most of the Endurance Trials already progressed, and she shares most of the slots with Wraec, who is often the preferred choice there. In the ones where I really struggle, which are, well, online today, she is in one and really doesn't get picked too much, at least not in the teams that I have seen. Yeah, we have her in this one, and I tried this multiple times, didn't clear it. Maybe we do it now. If we do it now, that would be quite sad, because I tried this like 10 times and it didn't work out. Of course. Of course. Of course, she's an absolute monster in that. I absolutely tried this like 10 times and couldn't clear it. Yeah, she one-shots it. Obviously. Obviously she one-shots it. Will she do it again? It's the same every single time. You know it, guys. It's the same every single time. But you notice she isn't really placed on one of the blessing tiles, and that is because in the most situations we find her in, she isn't really the damage dealer, she is the support hero, and that is something that is shared throughout the gaming experience that I had with her. Most of the time, even though we see her strong damage potential in stuff like Endurance Trial, she is used more of a support. Even here, Merrily just does a ton better than her, even though, I mean, she didn't do bad. She didn't do bad at all. The thing is, she's kind of squishy. She sometimes just tends to drop dead when there is a high hit in PvE. So in some AFK stages, she kind of struggles a little bit. In Dream Realm, I found that she found her way in some teams, though not really in all of them. If we check out today's formations, we won't really find her in any one. I think, was she in Snowstomper? She was in Snowstomper. You can watch Jamot's fight here maybe with her. And here as well, as a buff hero, sometimes there's a little bit of extra survivability for some heroes. And there we find her as a cheap alternative, and sometimes additional hero to Rainier, because we get like a pretty impressive amount of buffs, we get a pretty impressive amount of fist death and magic death, and in the early game I feel like she could work as like a little bit of a replacement that makes it even so easier to take Fresto as your first pick. So in that regard, if you have her at an early stage, she can be fairly interesting. So I wouldn't want to discard her for her early game use there. She's there fairly interesting and could combine well in an early game route. In the end game, however, she is a recommended hero. That is what most people really think of her. Though not like a must-have hero. That is not like the thing. She didn't quite reach the levels of Tasi, I believe. And though Lilith Games seems to play with the thought of nerfing Tasi, she still yet at this point seems to be the superior hero in terms of combined hero power. Not, of course, in terms of buffs. Yeah, well, Sonja would be ahead, but if we just take a look at the combined hero power, Tasi seems to be a little bit stronger. So the people playing with the thought of swapping your Tasi to Sonja, I wouldn't quite recommend it. I wouldn't quite get to the point where I would say, oh, that is the thing you definitely want to do. But where's the place really where she is insane, where she is really great? Well, the place where she is really great, we find that in the guild. We go into battle drills, and there we find Nathaniel, the current boss. And this current boss features a variety of possible teams, one of which being a team with Corrin. And this Corrin team is rather interesting, because what we can do here is we place our Rowan, we place our Corrin, we place a Smokey, we get ourselves an Alsa, put that in the front of the Rowan, and then put Sonja here to the back, and she will buff the Alsa and the Rowan right there. And then we just have to make sure to swap our artifact as well to give our Corrin the absolute maximum of energy. And this usually does very well. There is an alternative to that which does even better, but today I already kind of used my Rainier, sadly, so we'll watch this and then we'll watch your guildmates fight who did even better the points. But there she seems like the supreme meta hero. In the battle drills, if you are one of those players who are really competitive in battle drills, then I think Sonja will be a must-have for you. Because she seems to provide us with the top damage dealer team at the moment. Then again, we have to keep in mind this team is largely based on the season skills. And yeah, it's the last battle drill in this season as far as I know. So maybe second to last. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe somebody can correct me on that down in the comments. It is one of the last anyway. And therefore, we don't have too much time. We don't know how great she will be next season, but nonetheless, an absolute unit of a team, an absolute monster, performing better than Cassidy and giving our Coronet Torn more buffs. And I even made it with this exact team to over 200 billion damage, which you can see right here, 280 billion. And Jamot actually made it to even more and used a different version of this with Rainier buffing the Sonja. And we can watch this as well. Let's take a look at that fight. You can see Rainier buffing the Sonja, giving her some extra attack right there. And this is also a fairly interesting team and the one that I still have to try. But yeah, if you were in the video that I posted yesterday with Avatar's sheet with all the guilds in battle drills and the top scoring guilds, if you haven't watched it, by the way, great work by Avatar in that video, definitely check that out. It's very interesting information. Then you definitely want this hero for your team. And I can kind of see her in future applications as well. I mean, she is a very strong hero. She does a fair amount of damage, she does provide us with buffs, and such heroes are always kind of searched after. So, in terms of the recommended heroes, definitely one of the heroes this season that is probably one of the strongest. I still see Tasi ahead of her, as I said, but still one of the best Lightbearer heroes in the game. I mean, looking at the Lightbearer lineup in terms of S tiers, there's not much that I see ahead of her. Like, we can try to take a little bit of a look at it, wishlist maybe. I would probably even summon her before Cassidy. I would get a copy of Roan. And then, like, then it's probably already Sonja. Like, Sonja, pretty much to the start, one of the most important S-tier Lightbearer heroes right now. I would summon her before Vala even. Yeah, it's probably the most important S-tier. If you have, like, a copy of Roan at least, that is. Because you definitely want to have the utility of him. But yeah, that makes her a pretty insane hero overall, and yeah, absolute madness. So in terms of upgrade stage, I mean, which charms did I use? I used the recommended ones, and I kind of understand why. This is like attack skill power. It's a pretty powerful charm for her. We can take a look at the skills. And skill power, of course, buffs all of those skills. And you can already see it. Crimson Covenant, the buff skill, is her major skill right here. And we increase the attack, fist def, and everything. Even more with skill power, so buffing that is the main thing to go there. And then, of course, you also get to buff your own attack with that, so that is an upgrade as well. And I think that overall makes this the best charm. For the Mythic Plus, for the exclusive equipment, I went for plus 10 at the moment to get the reduced damage taken. I would have gone to plus 15 even, and I'm not sure you need it. Like, the plus 10 is nice. Just unlock the ability. Many people that I saw went to plus 25 immediately. I'm at the moment fairly happy at plus 10. You have the life drain, you have the haste, you have all the stats, you have this ability. And this did good enough for me at least. So I recommend plus 10. And always, of course, you can go beyond, but you don't really have to. Keep in mind, there will be more heroes to come this season and next, and maybe you want to have some temporal essence for that. And I mean, next season alone, we're going to get 3 Celestial and Hypergen heroes apparently, which all probably want to be upgraded to plus 15 if you summon them. Well, that's maybe something you want to save up for. So, overall, pretty great hero. Still prefer Tasi over her at the moment, so maybe if you have Tasi, don't swap her for her yet. If you've swapped, you don't have to be unhappy. It's a great hero that you got with Sonja. So, with that, I wish you a great day. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see us in the next one.